sometimes not the nicest lady, but definitely always out for your good. And I go to the class, and it's obvious I'm fucking destroyed. I'm like, people are carrying me into the class. I'm laying there with my face on the table, on the desk, and she's like, "All right, we gotta read. We had it for English class. We gotta read something." And she's like, "Fred, why don't you read?" And I'm just like face first in the desk. I can't even move. And everyone's like, and I think it was my buddy Vladimir. Like, he's like, "I'll read for Fred," and she's like, "No, I want Fred to read." And then my buddy Duns, he starts reading, and she's like, "No, I want Fred to read." And I'm like, "I can't read right now. I can't read." And she knew I was shit-faced smashed, and I'm asking her for a pass to the bathroom. She won't let me go. She's pretty much making me suffer the entire time. I'm asking to go to the nurse. She knew I was shit-faced smashed. So I'm sitting there, and I wanted to just literally tell her to go fuck herself so bad. And I wanted to yak in the entire class, and I knew it was going to be bad and a mess. So after I waited till that bell rang, like literally to the last second. And every time I had to read, somebody else would read for me. Dorian would read for me. It was awesome, good times. So bell rings, I run to the fountain. I yak. It hits the fucking fountain, hits me back. I'm covered with yak. I'm running down the hallways yakking on fucking people. She's chasing me. I'm like, "Get the fuck away from me." Crazy times, crazy times. That was my senior year and my junior year. That was my senior year. Senior year was crazy madness. Crazy madness. In high school, my senior year, I got to smoke weed with my vice principal at the dinner dance. We went to there, and I didn't get a chance to smoke beforehand. They wouldn't let us out to the cars during the dinner dance, so I had to wait till afterwards to get some trees to smoke. And we had this nice place, Shadowbrook, and in Jersey. And so afterwards, I go out this little gazebo. Me and Chubbs and Kays and a couple of people, a bunch of people actually, and Duns and Tea Time, and we're burning, and everyone's like, "Oh, I'm cool." Lance was there. A couple of people bounced. So I'm sitting there by myself. I'm like, "Fuck this. I waited all night. I'm getting retarded." And so I'm sitting outside. I'm getting stoned. And here comes Mr. Barrett. This vice principal we had was the biggest drunk in the world. And a complete asshole, douchebag inside school. And just drunk all the time with a red face. And he walks up and he sits down. And I'm like, "Oh shit." He's like, "I got two, so go ahead. What the hell?" He's like, "It's your time." So I was like, "Okay, cool." So I'm sitting here, I'm smoking, he's drinking, he's shit faced out of his mind, I'm stoned out of my mind, and he's like, "What do you want to do in life, Gattuso?" I'm like, "I have a big mansion, chill, make music, this and that, do art." And actually, I wasn't even too much into the music then. I was just more the art and friggin'. He's like, that's this and that, blah blah blah. Enjoy it, this and that, blah blah, have fun. And it was just crazy. Like, here's this dude for 4 years, hated my guts, hated my brothers and my sisters, and hated me. And I'm sitting here smoking a joint, and he's drinking. It was just a weird moment looking back on it. Next day I see him, and so I'm thinking in my head, we're cool. Next day I see him in school. I'm like, "Yo, Mr. Barry, what's up, yo?" He's like, "Gattuso, get to fucking class." I'm like, okay, so much for that, you know what I mean? But that was a cool story, I always remember. In high school, I started doing graffiti, even though I wasn't really that good and whatnot. And still I really ain't. That's pretty much how I got into like the sloppy art and everything. Started tagging. My name was Yabo G. That was my graffiti name. That's what YG stands for. Yabo G. I got the name real quick from movie Gleaming the Cube. As a dude, Yabo, Christian Slater's best friend, that lived in like a bomb shelter. I thought that was the coolest room ever. So I was like, "Yo, I'm jacking that nigga's name." And plus, when I was younger, my sisters used to call me Yabo, which means a boob. So I put that together with G from G Money, Yabo G. That was my new name. It was years later I'd be YG12 shorten it down, but a good friend told me that, but I was Yabo G for now. Back then, it was a crew little thing I ran with, the AFK, another fresh crew. Those were like my junior and senior year in high school. Willie the Shaver, Scott, Jakes, Evil, Colonia Heads, fucking Jay Spitch, Jay Tagadem, Bombed, Sean McHenry, friggin' TJ. Great times with those dudes, some of the best times of my life with those fucking dudes. Growing up being stupid. getting retarded, going on crazy missions, having hardcore shows in TJ's attic, going to hardcore shows in Brunswick, being young, getting served, getting brass monkey and getting fucked up, and going to the spirit shop. Back then there was a club our friends used to run called the Down Under in Brunswick. It's right across from the State Theater in Brunswick now, but it's gone now. It's like a hotel or something. It was knocked down and demoed. There used to be the basement of this building that they would have shows throughout the week. It was like a rental place. Our boys ran it, and we'd go there Fridays and Saturday nights, and Friday nights would be like a rave. It'd be called Vivid. And Saturday nights would be like hardcore shows, and during the week bands would practice and stuff, and our boys would always go there. We'd go there and get retarded, get fucked up, and we had some great times in those places. Some great times. We got into mischief. We were in the big hardcore shows. It was awesome. We used to go to the Pipeline in Newark. We used to go to Studio One in Newark. I got to rock on stage with Doggy Dog. They pulled me up for No Fronts. I got to smoke a joint on stage with them singing No Fronts. I was like 16, 17. I was like 17, I think I was. Great times. Great times. Used to go to Welton Street in Brunswick. See hardcore shows, see bands. We used to go to a lot of fucked up places. This fucked up place, the insane asylum we used to go to, which was a burnt down insane asylum. And I wanted to discuss that in this chapter, but I decided that place was so special to my heart. We're going to dedicate a whole chapter to that, so I'll get into that later on. But throughout my teenage years in high school, we used to go there a lot. We used to have 10 carloads of people at a time that would go there, and it was like a big mind fuck. We'd all scare the shit out of each other going to this place. It was our own little amusement park. Like I said, we're going to discuss that more in further chapters. High school. In high school, I was cool with everybody. I was cool with the jocks. I was cool with the freaks, the drug addicts, the weightlifters, the fucking smart kids. I was cool with everybody. I didn't have beef with nobody. I didn't hate nobody. Nobody hated me, as far as I knew. Things were cool. Got along with everybody. Bounced around a lot from friends and stuff, but that's just always been me my whole entire life, kind of deal. So that's what I was kind of cool, like with everybody. Freshman, sophomore year, I didn't have too many girlfriends. When I had a girlfriend, Kristen, and my junior year, I had a girlfriend, Jen, and she became a big fucking slut. Like fucked everybody in school. She was a hoe. Wound up getting up back with her later on, and she was still a big hoe. Fucked everybody again. That'd be later on in the stories. Then after that, I became like a hoe. I became a male hoe. I became a freak, and I fucked everything that walked and everything that wanted to fuck me, pretty much. And those were good times. Very good times, very good times. I was brutal back then. I was brutal and I was bad. I mean brutal. We used to take runs to Washington Heights over to GW and go get drugs because it was cheaper down here. We used to have a time where we can get there in 19 minutes to the GW. Thank God we lived through a lot of those times. Thank God we lived and matured and woke up. We did a lot of stupid shit. I'm not going to say names to protect his innocence, but one time one of our friends, he's seen sounds. To this day, we're still trying to figure that part out. How the hell do you see sounds? And I was on not the dinner dance, that was the prom. I wound up not going to the prom. My friend Casey broke his legs, so we wound up going down to Seaside every year. The prom, the dinner dance. And that year I rode down in my boy Shaver's brother Robbie's truck, in his car, in his trunk. There was no more room. There was 11 people in the car, and I decided I'll ride the trunk. So we left the trunk open a little bit with a bungee, and I held it. And I drove for about 45 minutes to an hour down. I said, just give me a blunt and let me sit in the fucking trunk. We drove the whole way down there. That was awesome. Now my friend seen sounds that weekend.